What is going on, everybody? It's Stas here. So yet again, another fantastic day in the markets today. The S&P went up 0.3%, the NASDAQ 100 went up 1.2%, and we had the Russell and the Dow go down a bit, down 0.2%, but overall the markets had a great day. And today we're going to be breaking down some technicals, going over a bunch of stocks that are breaking out that I'm watching right now, and I also want to share with you all where my head is at overall as a trader, as an investor, and where I see the markets going in the short term. And yes, I'm not a fortune teller, but I do want to break down some technicals like I said. So make sure to smash the like button, subscribe, get yourself $30 from M1 Finance down below. You could also check out my Patreon for buy and sell alerts, call outs, morning update videos. All of those are linked down below, and let's get right into the video. So SPY right here is the very popular ETF that people use that tracks the S&P 500, and you guys can see clearly on the 5-day 5-minute chart here, we hit yet again another all-time high at $413.53. And on this chart, you can see the uptrends continuing, higher highs, higher lows, all that good stuff. And pulling back to the 4-hour chart, you can see again that all-time high, and you can see that we haven't really had a significant red day. And I've been saying this, and we still haven't gotten the red day. You know, we haven't had one for this whole month. And who called this out? I'm not gonna lie, I don't like tooting my own horn, but I did call this out. Remember that video I made a couple weeks ago, it was about 2 weeks ago, how the stock market might explode in April? Because we talked about how in that video, historically speaking, April is the second best month in the stock market behind July, and March is historically a very poor month in the stock market. So it makes sense, historically speaking here, that the S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ, overall the markets have been doing very well in this month of April. And again, we haven't had a red day pretty much at all this entire month. So this leads me to believe, and I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, sound like a broken record or anything, but this leads me to believe, since we ran up, take a look at this, we've ran up about 4% this month so far in April. Maybe we start consolidating a bit. And another thing I mentioned in that video, which kind of makes sense with what I just said, the consolidation, a lot of the green in April, historically speaking, came in the first, I believe it was 18 days. So go check out that video. I'll link it down below. I talk more in depth about that there. But a lot of the green came in the first, let's just say 2 weeks, and then we consolidated and even went down a bit for the rest of the month, historically speaking. So that could be what happens here, and it might not. It could continue flying up. Who knows, 415, 420. It could go there before it pulls back. But again, we're just talking about historical data here, and I'll link that video I made a couple weeks ago down below if you guys want to check it out. And the star of the show today was no doubt the tech stocks, tech in general. What a day it was for tech. You guys can see NASDAQ 100, I believe it hit an all-time high today, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it did. 14,002 points. The milestone was hit, 14,000, and this completely broke out over the past couple of weeks, even more than the S&P, right? This one's up 10% almost in the past couple of weeks. And QQQ, which tracks the NASDAQ 100, we've been calling this out from 315 to 325, 331, all the way to 338. Now it broke 338, hit that all-time high at 340. So overall, guys, markets are erupting. Tech is at an all-time high. NASDAQ 100 is, at least. And a lot of these tech stocks, we're going to mention some today, are just going bananas, right? They're going completely bananas. And quite honestly, there could be some more upside in these stocks here. And we have the VIX down 1.5%, still hovering at that yearly low. And we also have silver doing very well, up 2% today, and gold having a pretty solid day, up almost 1%, and not to mention Bitcoin, which we'll talk about later in this video. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. I would love to know any thoughts that you have. Make sure to hit that like button as well if you all are enjoying the video. And I challenge you guys, we haven't done done a challenge, and I've noticed the like button, it hasn't really been smashed that much recently, so, and that kind of sounded weird, but anyway, hit that like button, right? Let's try to get at least 250, 300 likes on this video. Let's see how many we can get, and let's talk about some of these tech stocks now, and a little bit of what I'm doing and where my head is at overall with these stocks, starting off with Zoom, ticker symbol ZM. This is one that out of a lot of the tech, the CV-oriented shutdown stocks, which honestly, I don't even like to call them that anymore. And Kevin O'Leary had a great point today. If you guys saw that Meet Kevin video with Kevin O'Leary, I actually tuned in for a little bit of that. I have to go back and watch that. He was going over how a lot of these stocks, they're not even the quote-unquote, the CV stay-at-home stocks anymore. They're really the future of how business is done. And I can't agree with that more. I mean, I've been saying that with Zoom myself. I feel like Zoom and a lot of these other DocuSign, CrowdStrike, a lot of these CV stocks, they're going to do a lot better even after this is all over and we're back to some sort of normal state. And I believe Zoom's here to stay. People aren't going to want to go travel to business meetings, spend thousands of dollars when they can just sit at a computer like this and just talk over Zoom. And a lot of business, not even business, but just things in general are going to be done over Zoom as opposed to in person. So I totally agree with him there. And looking at Zoom stock in general, this thing hasn't rallied whatsoever compared to some of these other tech names like Amazon, Apple, Square. And you could argue Zoom ran up a lot in 2020. And yes, that's an incredible argument. You have a good point there, very valid point. But still, over the past 6 months, about 6 months, it hasn't done anything. In fact, the stock's down about 50%. So I think it's time for Zoom to rally, and I'm not here to cast a spell on Zoom and just jump in it because I want it to rally. We don't trade based on wants or biases. We trade based on what's in front of us, so we're not out of the downtrend yet. But I'm telling you guys, the second we start breaking out of the 180 moving average here on the 4-hour chart at 350, we start cracking above those resistance points from back in January, February, 360, 70, 80. I think that's going to be a turnaround spot for Zoom. And another thing worth mentioning here is we're in a descending triangle. There's no denying it. We have support at about $300. We haven't broken under that since really back in August. That's the last time we were trading under 300. So we have strong support there, but we're downtrending, making lower highs into that support, hence the descending triangle. So if we collapse under 300, which I don't think is going to happen, and sure, anything could happen, of course, guys. I mean, the stock market is the stock market at the end of the day, and you guys should get that, I mean, especially if you've been in this for a while, or even a beginner. The market does what it wants at the end of the day. So it could go under 300, but I don't think it would. But if it does, that would be the completion of the descending triangle, right? But on the flip side, like I said, if we take out 350, 370, 380, we're going to be breaking out at that point, and I have no doubt in my mind Zoom could really do well for the next couple of years, year, 2 years, 3 years, even the next couple of months if this technical spot were to break. So Zoom, I really like it. It's up 6%. It went up 6% today, up $21 per share. Very strong day overall for Zoom. And let's talk about my favorite, guys, Tesla. Tesla finally had its day, ticker symbol TSLA, and everybody that was buying that dip for the past month and a half, they finally got a payday today, including myself. I actually ended up locking in some profits on my Tesla position, or in my Tesla position, and not too much. About 30% of my overall position was locked. And if you all remember, I was buying this thing all the way down. My most recent buy was at $610. I was able to bring my cost down to about $710 with Tesla, and I sold out out today 30% of my position to lock in some profits at 745. And you guys in my Patreon know that. You guys get all my buy and sell alerts real time, and I made some other moves today in my account. So a lot of action today for me, guys, and I left 70% of my portfolio, or rather my position in Tesla. I left it open because I knew that Tesla's Tesla, right? Tesla does a lot of crazy things. It can go up a lot more from where you think it's overbought. And that's exactly what happened to me. I sold out today, like I said, at 745. And what do you know? After I sold out, I said, okay, this is a point of resistance at 745. It was getting overbought, in my opinion, at that point in time. And now it ran up even more, so it is more overbought. But we'll talk about that in a second. And I was thinking, okay, 745, that was actually the high from back in the end of February. So I thought, okay, we filled the gap from 700 to 740. Let me lock in some profits. So I did that. And like I said, I left 70% open because I knew the next gap to be filled was 780. And that's probably where I'd lock in a lot more profits, maybe not my entire position, but I'd lock in more at that point. Let's put it that way. And now we're at 760. So, I mean, this stock just kept on trucking along. And by the looks of it, guys, like I said, we are a bit overbought, but I don't think Tesla is going to crash by any means. In fact, I think this is the start of the overall recovery, maybe back up to 800, 850. But as a trader, you know, we have to mitigate our risk a little bit. We have to take some chips off the table, some profits here and there. So even though I'm still bullish on Tesla in the short term, I want to take some profits at the end of the day too. And that is what you'll learn overall as a trader over time, right? You know, if you're all in on a position, you watch it go all the way up, you don't take any profits, and it crashes back down, you're like, what the heck did I just do? Why didn't I lock in at least a little profit? And that's, again, what I'm doing here with Tesla. And I'm looking at a rival, ARVL. And if you guys saw my 2 oversold stocks video to buy now, I made that last week. Go check that out. I highly recommend it. Arrival was one of them. And in that video, it was sitting at almost $15, $16 a share. I think it was closer to $16 a share. And now, guys, it's at $13 a share. It's down. It went down 5% today. It closed at $13.45. And I mean, how much lower can this stock go? It's getting close to where it was when it initially SPAC'd, I believe, at like $10, right? I mean, guys, it could go back to 10, maybe 11, 12. And I'm looking at this now and I'm like, the risk reward is getting quite attractive. And yeah, it's still a more speculative play. It's not a sure bet. Arrival is going to be a big player in this EV space in the next couple of years. It's not a for sure bet, but if you have some risk, you know, in your stomach and you're willing to stomach some risk, this could be a move where the risk reward is fairly attractive, especially, like I said, as we get closer to that $10 initial SPAC price. And this Arrival's market cap right now, let me tell you this, guys, it's $8 billion. And when it was $37 a share, that was for sure frothy. It was at probably like $30 billion roughly, maybe a little bit less, 20, 25 billion, which again was frothy. Now we're at an 8 billion valuation. If that gets down to about a 5 billion, 6 billion, that in my opinion is a pretty good safe. Not safe. It's for sure not safe, but the risk reward is more favorable. Let's put it that way. So I like Arrival here. Adobe is another one, which I believe we called this out not very recently, but about 2-3 weeks ago. I hope you guys caught this. I mean, I for sure missed the move. I'm an idiot, but if you guys caught it, I should have caught it because I did. I believe I called this out on Patreon in one of the posts there. This was at 455. Now it filled the entire gap to 510, and you may be saying to yourself, okay, it filled the gap rather, the move's over. But no, it actually broke 510. 510 has been a sticking point ever since the beginning of November, and now it looks like we're going to be playing with 520, which is the high from back in October and also back in the middle of September. So now we're at 515, and I'm looking at this, if it could pull back, maybe 510, 511, bounce off that point, that could be a nice dip buy to about 520 in my opinion. And Adobe could even go higher. It could heat up even more, maybe to 540. And you guys might be saying, Stas, come on, man. It's already ran so much, and it has, but I'm telling you, if we get some mini pullbacks, a little bit of consolidation, now that tech's heating back up, you have to realize tech was down for a while. You guys know this. And now that it's heating up, NASDAQ 100 at all-time highs. This might go up a little bit higher. The individual stocks, they could go up even more than what the index goes up, and Adobe is one of those that does well, right? And it's even more favorable now after the whole CV because more people are, you could argue, using their product, staying at home. So this is going to be a good play. I think there's still more upside. I'm looking at this more as a buy the breakout as opposed to sell the breakout. I mean, yeah, if I was in at 450, I would for sure be locking in a little bit of profits here, but I wouldn't be scared to let it ride. Let's put it that way. I would let it ride. I'll be honest. I would. And another one here that I'm looking at, which maybe is a bit more favorable than Adobe, it's Shopify. This one is not near that high on the 4-hour chart. In fact, this one's still off about $30 or $300 from the high, about a little bit less, $250, and it's down about 20% still. And today, take a look at this. We went up 3%, up about $40 per share, and it looks like this wants to break out, guys. I mean, to me at least, it looks like that. We broke both the 50 and the 180 moving averages here on the 4-hour, and now we're peaking above the high point from back in the middle of January at about 1230. We closed at 1240. It's creeping above that resistance, guys, and I think it truly is going to break out to about 1280 in the very short term. That gives it about $40 upside from here, about 3-4%, but that is just the beginning of the move. I believe 1280 is going to break, and we could end up seeing a gap up from there probably to about 1350, and at that point we might be a bit overbought, so I wouldn't really force it if it were to get there unless we had a pullback or something like that. But in the short term, and mind you guys, you must always do your own research, your own due diligence, but I just think there's a lot of upside with Shopify and MSTR. You guys know this one, MicroStrategy, and now we're going to cover a little bit some crypto plays. And by the way, Riot, guys, holy crap, on a side tangent, Riot went up 15%. And were we not calling this out? I literally called this out in this morning's Patreon video. I called it out yesterday, a couple days ago as well, as this has been a crypto-oriented play that it's been lagging behind Mara, which really exploded recently, and I think it didn't do much today at all. Look at this, up almost 2%, barely nothing, right? It exploded last week, though. Now Riot's catching up. So, yeah, I think Riot could go up to about 68, 70. I think there's still some juice left in the tank for this one. And MSTR, same exact thing. MicroStrategy, I think there could be some juice left. It broke out of the wedge, the 180 moving average here on the 4-hour chart as well. And we took out the resistance points from all the way back in, all the way from the end of February. I mean, we haven't been above 830 since the middle of February. So 18% day for MicroStrategy, very strong day for direction. And I think this could be, maybe it doesn't go to 1,300 again. That was a bit nuts, but maybe $1,000, $950. I don't think that's too out of the question here. And crypto in general today, Bitcoin sitting at 63,100 right here. I'm not sure if you guys can see this. This is my Coinbase. Let me see on my OBS very quickly. Can you guys see that? Yeah, look at that. And I actually have $150 of Bitcoin in my Coinbase right now. So yeah, Bitcoin sitting at 63K. Take a look at the screen here. My phone is cracked, by the way. I am going to get that new iPhone here very, very shortly. But yeah, I'm super excited about this. Bitcoin is on fire. We're seeing these crypto plays doing well. Some have a lot more potential in the short term than others. And oh, by the way, if you guys want $10 free from Coinbase, you might as well well check that link out down below. If you get, I think if you just deposit any amount of money or $100 or whatever, we each get $10 of Bitcoin. So if you want some free Bitcoin, check out that link down below. And by the way, that Coinbase IPO is coming, which I'm super excited about, although I am not going to be a buyer. I think it's valued at like 150 billion right now. I'm not looking to get into that quite yet. If it were to drop a bit, a lot to be it needs to drop a lot, to be honest, guys, for me to get in. And if it does, I'll get in, but if it doesn't, I'll be on the sidelines, and I'll still be holding Bitcoin. I mean, you guys know, on a little side tangent here, you guys know I've been in Bitcoin since May, and you can go back and check that video I made in May. Why not? I'll link it down below if you guys want to check it out. I got into Bitcoin when it was $9 grand, 8,500. I started buying. I think I started out with 500, maybe 1,000, started buying in from there, and yeah, it grew to a nice amount. I think it like 5x, 6, 7, or something like that since then. I don't really check my Bitcoin too often. I just buy it and just leave it, right? And yeah, it's been doing well. And the last stock for today, let's quickly wrap this up. Chewy, CHWY. Chewy did well today, up 4%, up $3.30. And we are back at that resistance that's been plaguing the stock ever since the beginning towards the middle of March. You guys can see we failed at 88, not once, not twice, not 3 times, but about 4 to 5 times. And now we're right at 88 again, about to test it for the 6th, 7th, whatever time. And I believe this could be the time where we break out. And of course, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, but at some point it is going to break out. The stock's been consolidating for a month and a half here. I think the day's coming where it's going to erupt. So we have to put an alert at about $89 here on Chewy. If it breaks that resistance and the 180 moving average here, I believe this is going to have a nice couple weeks ahead of it. So yeah, guys, that's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. We went over a bunch of stocks, some moves I made. And again, if you want to see all my moves, my buy and sell alerts, call out, if you want daily morning update videos where we're going over breakout stocks, breaking news, stocks I'm looking at, and if you want more access to me, that's all on Patreon, link down below. And if you all enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and get yourself, you might as well, $30 from M1 Finance. That's linked down below. Same with the $10 from Coinbase. All you have to do is deposit $100 into those platforms, and you can make $40 literally now. So go check out those links. And of course, I get money as well, since it is an affiliate link, and all of those proceeds, they help me out, help out the channel, and I really do appreciate it. So I'll catch you all later on. Thanks for watching. As always, stay safe out there. Keep crushing the markets, guys. Peace out.